specifically for the benefit of those members, which range from everything from negotiating between two countries a satisfactory solution to something, or introducing businesses to other businesses in country. We also do things for the great benefit of the Commonwealth, and I think the event we had this morning and having these 2 days is for the great good of the Commonwealth. We have a lot of non-members here who we're delighted to see. In Malta in February we'll be having another event like this. In London in December, at the end of November, we will be at the Mansion House with another event similar like this. And then for those that would like to go in Samoa in October next year, we will be having a Commonwealth Business Forum alongside the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. And if you want to go to Samoa, I suggest you start leaving now because it's an awful long way. With this in mind, we have deliberately set up offices throughout the Commonwealth in order to service our members if they want to invest in one of the other Commonwealth countries, if they want to find a route to market in those Commonwealth countries. We have a person on the ground who will help manage that experience, obviously in conjunction with your own governments and your own government offices, with your own agents that you have already out there, but where we can help you in country to add that little bit extra of where you might like to potentially invest. And of course, having been in business all my life, I realise that investing in a country is not without risk. You may want to know the tax situation. You may need to know that there is a rule of law that underpins that tax situation. You may want a partner, someone to help you navigate through the issues within a country. And that is what our agent or representative is there to help you with. So to date, we have opened offices. We've opened 11 offices. We are in the City of London, the strategic partners with the Lord Mayor of the City of London. We're in the West End of London, in the UK. We're in Gibraltar and Malta. Malta and Gibraltar give us access through the European Union, because obviously the UK are no longer members of the European Union. We are in the Cayman Islands, which is our access to the Caribbean. We're in Ghana, Nigeria. Our Nigerian representative, Obina, is here somewhere. Please get hold of them. And they were, by the way, at the Commonwealth Heads of Government, they were the star attraction. The Prince of Wales was told that he was not to go and see the Cameroon stand, but insisted on going to see because there was so much life involved, and it's a fantastic country. I'm happy to say that Abdul, who most of you will know, where are you, Abdul? Are you hiding? He is hiding, I knew he would be. He's having his afternoon rest, he does that most days. He is going to be our representative in Kenya, where we opened an office earlier this year. We're in Singapore, we opened in April. Lindsay is not with us, but please contact her at any point. Sri Lanka, our board member Nero Cook is here. Are you here, Nero? Or are you having your afternoon rest as well? Oh, well done. You can always rely on Nero Cook. There he is. Who runs a very big conglomerate in Sri Lanka and knows his way around there. And then, of course, yesterday we had the huge pleasure of opening an office in Bangladesh thanks to the great efforts of Zilla and his family.
I like always to start with to mention that, and I mentioned it briefly in my speech this morning, but I'd like to elaborate it a little bit now, is that we are the most densely populated country in the world. And when I speak to my American friends or even to my British friends, imagine half the population of the United States all being fit into the site into Wisconsin. So I tell them, my American friends, that imagine if half of your population, all of you were living in Wisconsin, how would that be? Just to give it in perspective, or in the case of the UK, I think we are 3 times the population of the United Kingdom. All of them are living in Wales. Then you can imagine the density. But in spite of that, we grow enough food to feed for ourselves, and that is a real tremendous success in as far as agriculture goes. We are the 4th largest producer of rice in the world. We are the 3rd largest producer of fish in the world. So between these two, both protein and carbohydrates, we've taken care of. We are the 3rd largest producers of vegetables in the world. And we are now really diversifying our agriculture. So we never grew wheat. We have started growing wheat. We have started growing sunflower. We started growing strawberries, avocados. So, you know, real diversification is taking place. And this has led, and this is, I feel I started with agriculture because I feel that this is a tremendous opportunity for investment in Bangladesh is because of agro-processing. So what we have now done is that we are really encouraging, because our agriculture has been such a success, so we are really encouraging agro-processing industries. We have some success stories of our own. We have a company called Tran, which exports to over 100 companies. They are very big in agro-processing. They have a turnover of over $3 billion. And they are sort of setting the course for others to follow. And so this is something which is an area where I think there is a huge opportunity in agro-processing, especially if you were to tie in the kind of, if you take in the 4th industrial revolution, and if you were to take in the new technology which is coming, you can use artificial intelligence now in agriculture, blockchain technology. So all of this put together, I think there is a huge opportunity where those companies and countries who possess advanced technology in agriculture can partner with companies in Bangladesh for increasing agriculture and agro-processing. So this is one area. The other area which I think I would like to mention is, you know, garments. Everybody talks about garments and says that we are the 2nd largest producer of garments in the world. It's a big business. Our textile is now vertical. We have done a lot in backward processing also. However, so generally people would feel that this is an area where, you know, it's saturated. You really don't have an opportunity for investment in the garment or in the textile industry. But there's a very interesting statistic which I would like to share with you. And that is that around the total global textile market, the garment market, 30% or less than, in fact 30% is cotton and cotton polyester mix. More than 70% of the global textile market is actually man-made fiber. And it is, you know, the outer garments, the ski jackets, the suits, this is all man-made fiber. Now, interestingly, Bangladesh is, although we are the 2nd largest exporter of garments in the whole world, our more than 90% of our product is all cotton. So although we are very large in garments, we are in the global market segment, we are only in the smaller segment of the market. The larger segment of the market, which is man-made fiber, Bangladesh is not present at all. And there, I think, is a huge opportunity for companies. And this is what we are seeing, that because here the market was dominated by China. Because of the recent Chinese tensions, the geopolitical situation and the trade tensions, especially between China, US and Europe, we are seeing that there is a lot of shifts into Bangladesh for man-made fiber textiles. So there is also, I think, a huge opportunity in the textile sector. Although at first impression would be that it is saturated. And here again there is a need of technology transfer. And while I am on this subject, I also mention about the circular economy. And this is again, and this is to do with the circular economy, climate change, green investment. So, since Bangladesh is the second largest manufacturer of garments, we also are the second largest manufacturer of waste. Of both what they call the pre-production waste. So every time you make a shirt or you make a trouser or you make a jean or you make any garment, there is some waste which is generated. All of the fabric is not utilized. And so a very large industry now is being created in Bangladesh where this waste which is generated is being recycled. And recycled into fiber from the waste of the textile, and then that fiber is being mixed with the cotton to make new yarn and new fabrics. So that again is another a lot of foreign companies have shown interest. A number of them have already invested in recycling, in large recycling operations in Bangladesh. The third area which I feel that is a very exciting area of opportunity that is there is in our digital. You heard this morning I mentioned, Honorable Prime Minister mentioned, that we are very well digitally connected. The fact that we are a small country from a geographical point of view, we are looking at digitalizing our health services. So a lot of opportunity in this area. So I wanted to flag the three areas which I think are there's a lot of potential. In addition to that, of course, there is many other areas where there is potential. The pharma industry, the leather industry, the furniture industry. We need to diversify our exports. So there are various and many areas where we are very good at shipbuilding. In fact, our shipbuilding industry is a thriving industry. Electric cars, many companies have come in and invested in setting up electric cars, electric three-wheelers. So, opportunity galore. What have we done to create an enabling environment for investors? So, what we have actually done, and you will, in the course of the 2 days, you will hear more about this. But basically what we have been able to do is that we have solved our energy problem. We generate enough electricity to meet all our needs to 100%. We have improved our infrastructure and continuously doing so. We have the Chittagong port which has been expanded. We have Paira port, and we are having our first deep sea port in Matabari. When you flew in, you saw the third terminal at the Dhaka airport. Other airports are being upgraded. The Cox's Bazar airport, our provincial airport. So the total infrastructure, the road and rail connectivity, there's a huge investment we have made in that. And we have created an enabling environment. We have 4 basic organizations for investors. One is the BIDA, one is BESA, one is WEBSA, and one is the PPP, Public-Private Partnership Authority. These are all, but they work in unison. We are trying to get all of them into one-stop service website where you can go online and get the services. That's also progressing very fast. So all of this, having said all of this, I think I won't take too much of our time. I think we've got many more panel speakers. But this is just to give you some ideas. We have representatives of all our IPAs over here. If you want more details, I'm sure they will be more than happy to answer your queries. I would encourage you, all the foreign investors, businessmen who are here, to talk to the Bangladeshi businessmen. And I would encourage the Bangladeshi businessmen, if we can have as much business to business contact, and that I think is what this whole forum is all about, that if we can, between our Commonwealth countries.
Yes. Okay. Let's come to Mahmoud Alam then, who, as I said, is the president of the FBCCI. Just tell us, if you would, a little bit about yourself first, and therefore your perspective.
And the middle income country, developed country. And it will be now that we do anticipate developed countries who will have lots of challenges coming. But I think under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister, it will be in 2041, it will be a smart Bangladesh. And we businessmen are doing seriously how smart government, smart economy, smart society will be developed. And I think within 2040, 300 billion will be exported from Bangladesh. Now 5 billion exported only in R&D sector. So I think Bangladesh will be the next destination for FDI because here is a big under special economic zone is set up in Bangladesh all over the country. One is biggest one is in Chicago, which is almost 100% land is there, and you will get every facility. That is one structure. You will get electricity, you will get the gas, you will get all other services there. If you want to set up industry, you can set up there. And if you want to market in local market, there is 170 billion people market, or you export to other countries. So FDI is very important for Bangladesh. We have to look at it policy for FDI. If you want to set up industry here, you can set up here jointly or wholly. If you want to repay your profit, you will easily send. So this ideal destination for FDI in Bangladesh. And ease of doing business is now improving. I think our foreign cash flows can from FBCL we cooperate with you and we set up industry in Bangladesh. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Salman, if I can come to you from the perspective of Unilever, perhaps you could give us your perspective. What is it important when you are trying to foster trade?
Thank you. Wonderful to be here. If you look at Unilever is a 60 billion euro company globally. We've got a presence across 190 countries, and obviously we've got presence in all across Commonwealth countries. And if you look at a common thread that sort of helps us to foster business, one is very consistent policies. Because if you have policies that foster business and helps us, that helps us to make sure that we don't have surprises. And I think that is critical for any business over a long period of time to actually sustain and grow. And even if you look at it in Bangladesh as well, as the economy developed, and we had very environment-friendly policies that really helped us to develop and create a business like Unilever. Like even the Unilever Bangladesh is one of the top 20 businesses for the Unilever group as well. So we've actually grown with a growing Bangladesh. When we had an economic environment that was conducive to investment, we had a political situation which was significantly stable for us to build that environment, and our economy actually runs on the overall internal disposable income and consumption of the country itself. And the other level, which is completely different, is in terms of, because we also have to manufacture 95% of our turnover in this country, which means we also need to get some of these raw material come in. And we make everyday product, which means every day I need to get raw materials coming in the country, which we process and obviously distribute. So there is a huge ease of doing business in terms of how we facilitate quick and fast release of materials across our ports, as well as equally quick and fast distribution across that vast network of what the country is. So in summary, I think one very important is consistent policies, so there are no surprises. In a very stable political, economic environment, which helps us tap into the large domestic opportunity of the market and obviously the infrastructure in terms of how they reach our consumers.
So could you give me a list of things that you think make up a stable economic environment? I'm guessing you're talking about no inflation, interest rates, or at least stable interest rates.
Well, I wouldn't say low inflation only. I mean, we have a history of
Well, yeah, it should be a bit
in the form of building sustainable organizations.
Technology, yes, we are very much adaptive to new technologies. Our optical connectivity through submarine cables, we are now from third to fourth now moving, and dependency on internet and other new technology is heavily improving and developing in Bangladesh, and that's why the sale of mobile phones, computers, and other devices like that are huge now in Bangladesh, and these are one of the major markets for them now. And for other advanced technologies like EV and other electric vehicles and other things, the technology transfer is now taking place, and we are now about to manufacture electronic motorcycles in Bangladesh, and very soon one company who is currently assembling cars in Bangladesh is heading for electric vehicle manufacturing in Bangladesh.
Srini, if I can come to you, in the context of investment, this question of sustainability is increasingly important, isn't it?
Thank you. Let me break down sustainability.
Sorry, we're just going to lose two of our panellists. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you. Srini, sorry, please do carry on. Thank you.
The UK ambition, of course, just energy transition program and adaptation and resilience. Those are the three pillars of sustainability. Second important aspect of sustainability is about community development plans and gender-based development plans which we have. The third important aspect of sustainability is governance. I think, I've always been amazed at the entrepreneurial capability of Bangladesh. I've never seen this in many parts of the world. We operate in so many countries. But I think what the country needs is more first-generation entrepreneurs, more private equity funds, because we are a major limited partner with the world here. More private equity funds and venture funds. The market, they are there, but they're not deep enough in the country. I think the government should encourage more PE funds and VC funds to come and create that first level of entrepreneurs. If you look at America, in the last 20 years, the top 50 companies and today's 50 companies, they're completely different. It's because of the first generation entrepreneur who came and created that. Bangladesh has got tremendous capability because the intellectual capability of entrepreneurs is very high. We just need capital.
Sustainability, the transfer of knowledge, that must be part of trade, that is integral to trade. A free trade agreement and also its common legal structure. Which of these do you think are very important and are developing fast within the Commonwealth of Nations?
I think all of those, what you have mentioned, I think is very, very important. First of all, I'm a great believer in free trade, and I feel that if it can be a win-win situation if there is real cooperation between the countries, because I believe that all countries have something specific which they can share for the good of the others. The challenge here is to actually identify that and then how that sharing is going to take place so that it becomes a win-win situation for both the countries. And that is the challenge. What actually happens is that countries tend to protect their own interests. And when that happens, at times you're looking at the trees and you're not looking at the forest. And that, I think, so free trade is something which can be very beneficial, provided you can carve out the win-win, the benefit for both the countries. So that's one. In Bangladesh, Prime Minister has already initiated free trade. She feels, especially now that we will be graduating from an LDC to a middle-income country, and of course, we are very ambitious. We are aspiring to be a developed country by 2041. So, for us,
Ethiopia is something we backed. And in fact, I went to Ethiopia and looked at those factories. saw how much of a training the Bangladeshis have to do to the Ethiopians. It's extraordinary the kind of training they take. I mean, a lot of patience, because Ethiopians are not used to stitching. They're learning it from scratch. So fundamentally, I think that's the kind of cross-border investments is something between emerging markets is something we encourage a lot, because that's what we specialize in.
We stumbled across the subject of the free trade agreement earlier on. Do any of you want to talk about whether you think the free trade agreement is an important basis of some sort of trade agreement? Please do, Ian. Yeah.
Yes, I think, I would say from the point of view of UK, they're doing an incredible job of signing free trade agreements, and they're almost close to signing one with India. It's taking long.
So we keep. Yeah.
Free trade agreements are very important, but we must understand it's basically a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. Both countries should benefit out of this. I think it's important that they are very important, because the more you have trade barriers, the difficult it is. And especially when the cost is going up and the micro indicators, as you said, are haywire. When you look at the micro indicators today, even when I talk about asset allocation in our committees, we wonder, where do we put money so that to make sure our money is safe? Macros are very wobbly, but investors like us, we're not running to the hills when there is fire. We douse the fire. So I think the free trade agreements are very important. I think the developed nations coming into it is very important. The developing countries are very important. That will encourage a lot more investments and much more focused. So I'm a big proponent of that.
Yes, please do. If you'd like to add to that.
I would like to add with Mr. Streddy, yes, it's a two-way road, but you have to start somewhere. And when the arbitrage is taking place in FTA, then two countries gradually will be benefited. First of all, you transfer your technology, you transfer your other knowledge, and gradually that country will also improve. And every country has their own expertise, own specialization, and own strength. Sharing those between the cross-border countries will definitely benefit each other. And that's why this is what I feel between the Commonwealth countries should be a very important priority that we should give attention to. And talking about Bangladesh opportunity, you see the geographic location of Bangladesh. Half of the world population is living around the Himalayas. And Bangladesh having its own 170 billion, on its left is China, on its right is India. On its south is Myanmar and other Southeast countries, and then Pakistan and other heavily populated countries. So half of the world population is here. So when the purchasing power will grow in this part of the world, you can see the Western world will have a big market here of their own products too. Because with the living standard, with the purchasing power, this market, as said by our honorable keynote speaker, Advisor Salman Khan, that this can be a big market for the Western world also. Because you are good in research and innovation, you are inventing new things, you are good in technological advancement, and this can be your market also. So we can do both way business.
Well, I think it's a good time to ask the man from Unilever about the opportunities on the foothills of the Himalayas in the region. How do you see the region in terms of domestic demand and market opportunity?
So I was mentioning over the last, we've been in this country for 60 years, and we've grown with a growing Bangladesh. In fact, we've gone home to educate basic things like how to brush your teeth, or how to wash your hands, or even how to shampoo your hair. Now we've grown over the years, but having said that, if I take the per capita consumption of FMCG, the industry that I operate in, it's roughly $22. And that's per capita for this city. Just for comparison, India is 44. For Bangladesh, where our per capita income is higher than India, per capita GDP is higher than India, that begs the question, well, once it asks me a question, I've not done good enough a job. I mean, apart from that, the other fact is that there's the headroom for us to grow. And just for comparison, if I take Philippines, which is almost equivalent in terms of population, more or less, very similar social structure, that's $100. So that gives you a bit of perspective, the headroom for us to grow even within the FMCG category itself. And with a growing economy and where we are placed even with Bangladesh as a country in terms of the overall economic side, I think there's a huge and immense opportunity for us to really look into it. And I'm just using Bangladesh as a context. I think if you put together Commonwealth, I think Commonwealth, if I'm not mistaken, and I may have the number wrong, we are at 14.5, 15 trillion economy as a GDP. That's what we are as a Commonwealth. That talks about the potential for us to trade and should we move into a similar sort of fact in terms of how we really multiply. And I will use myself as Unilever, but I also see it in many ways Commonwealth, because we actually collaborate within our rich clusters. If you look at South Asia, we learn from each other, and that's how we grow, because there's something in Bangladesh that we see in India, or in India or Sri Lanka we exchange that because we learn from each other. And I think there's a huge amount of opportunity in terms of not only investment but also the knowledge transfer that Mr. Shukri was talking about, that how do you really get, because I think the multiplier impact of technology and knowledge is immense.
Yes, so trade and knowledge must be transferred at the same time. When we talk about a community of trade, we are talking about that, aren't we? That knowledge is part of that.
Absolutely.
Sustainability.
Sustainability is a basic thing. Actually, we are now going to a sustainable country. The leadership of our Prime Minister earlier mentioned. Sustainability is very, very important for any country, because basic things is SME. SME is the basic thing to sustainable economy. I think Bangladesh is now going in that right path. It is now going on, and I hope under the leadership of our Prime Minister, the country moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to come back to you, so Salman Rahman, and ask about your reflections. I'll just summarise what I think we've heard so far. We've just heard a little bit about sustainability. There's been mention of the possibility of a free trade agreement, the importance of economic stability, because you like to...
Our Prime Minister encourages business-friendly policy decisions. In fact, under her guidance, Bangladesh has been playing a lead role in the Commonwealth business-to-business connectivity cluster. And our special advisor to Prime Minister, the international business, increasing flow of remittance, provision of 100% electricity, large-scale engagement to women in workforce, targeted approach by the government and especially its committed leadership. Distinguished guests, Commonwealth Investment and Trade Forum 2020 has provided us a great opportunity to showcase the immense potential and opportunities that Bangladesh has to offer to the world. I would like to thank our guests and partners from around the world for attending this forum and for their interest in doing business with Bangladesh. Let us continue to work together to unleash the full potential of the Commonwealth and create a prosperous future for our people and the world. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let us enjoy the food and re-energize ourselves while enjoying a spectacular performance from the Bangladesh Shilpo Kala Academy. Thank you all. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangladesh.